If you see a tree grow overnight in your local cemetery, do not cut it down. Dad always said Oak Ridge Cemetery was his life's work. 27 years as groundskeeper, and he knew every tree by heart. The old oaks, the weeping willows, the strange ones that seemed to sprout overnight whenever we lost someone in town. I never questioned it until I took over after his heart attack last spring. That's when I noticed the pattern. Every death, every single one, followed by a new sapling pushing through the soil by morning. Perfect, straight trunks. Leaves that whispered even without wind. The town council wanted to clear some space for new plots, so they sent Jim Weber, the logger who'd worked these parts for 40 years. I watched him approach the youngest tree, the one that appeared after Mrs. Nowitzki's passing last week. His chainsaw sputtered to life, and something in my gut screamed to stop him. But I didn't. The first cut revealed rings that weren't rings at all, but tiny, intricate faces frozen in silent screams. Hundreds of them, spiraling from bark to core. I recognized Thomas Perry from when I was a kid, Lauren Trumbull from high school, Dad. Each face marked the day someone in town had died. Not just when, I realized with growing horror, but why. The patterns told stories, a cluster of rings showing hands around a throat, another displaying a cup of poisoned tea, pills dissolving to nothing. The faces in the outer rings belonged to people who were still alive. Jim dropped his chainsaw. "Jesus Christ," he whispered, backing away. His own face stared back at us from the wood, eyes wide with terror, a dark stain blooming across his chest. That night, a new tree sprouted over his grave. I tried burning the evidence, but the smoke formed shapes that haunted my dreams. Now I understand why Dad never cut them down, why his hands shook when he walked among them at dusk. These aren't trees. They're witnesses. Sometimes at night, if I strain the edges of my awareness, I hear them growing. The soft creak of wood expanding, of bark stretching tight over new revelations. The leaves don't just whisper anymore. They sob. And in the morning, I find new saplings with my neighbors' faces already forming in their tender cores. Yesterday, I noticed something different. My own face, emerging in the rings of every single tree. Not in the past or present, but in the outer edge. Waiting. And they're still growing.